John Wesley, Riley III. John Wesley, Riley III. John Wesley, Riley III. If you can hear me, I love you. Now, what I'm about to tell y'all about my father is coming from the perspective of a little girl who didn't know everything, but she knew what she felt. See, my parents got married when my mother was still a teenager. They had three girls together, and I'm the youngest. What I didn't know until the year my father died was that I also had an older sister from before their marriage. That alone lets you know how much of my father's life I didn't fully understand. By the time I turned 10, the year he was killed, most of what I knew about him came in snippets, pieces, moments, feelings more than facts. And that same year, my grandmother died too. So in one year, I lost the two people who made me feel the most protected in my childhood. Now I was told later that the year my father died, he and my mother might have been trying to get back together. Maybe. I don't know. But what I do remember is chaos. I remember arguments. I remember tension. I remember one day my father came to the house and my mother told my sister to put a pot of grits on the stove and pour Pepsi and lye in it. Even saying that out loud today lets you know what kind of environment that was. Nothing happened with it. But as a child, you remember things like that. I also remember my father would come by the house sometimes and he wasn't even allowed inside. He would hand me and my sisters money, and the moment that door closed, my mother's hand was already out. We had to give it right back. And even as a little girl, I remember thinking, why can't he do something for us without it becoming something else? But I also remember the good moments. We went to St. Mary's Star of the Sea Catholic School in Brooklyn. I still don't know why we went there, but we did. Sometimes my father would meet us after school and walk us to the bus stop, not just me and my sisters he had with my mother, but my younger brother and sister too, who weren't even his biological children. He never treated them different. He would take us to the arcade, give us a few dollars, spend a little time with us. And to a child, that meant everything. Now I'm not here to pretend my father was perfect. I don't know what happened between him and my mother. And honestly, that's not my story to tell. But what I do know is when he showed up for me, he showed up with love. And when I was 10 years old, somebody took him from me. They slit his throat from ear to ear and put a bullet in his head, and his murder was never solved. To this day, over 40 years later, still no answers. And sometimes I wonder if things would be different if I had made a different decision as a child. One day, my mother asked me if I wanted to live with her or live with my father, and I said I wanted to live with my father. But then she started talking about all the things she was going to do with my siblings when I left, places she was going to take them, things she was going to buy them. And I won't lie, that made me jealous because, like I told y'all before, I would have done anything to feel loved by my mother. So I changed my mind. And later, I realized none of those things she said were even real. And to this day, I carry a question in my heart. If I had gone to live with my father, would he still be here? That's a heavy thing for a child to carry into adulthood. I know my mother didn't cause his death, but I also know losing him before I got the chance to really know him changed something inside me forever. And if he were alive today, he'd be right here with me. And I miss him more than words can explain. So if you still have your father, or even just memories of him, don't take that lightly. Pull a chair up and share in the comments something you remember about yours.